Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Corina, and today we're going to talk about 3 sinking funds that everyone needs. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so yesterday we went over a brief overview of what a sinking fund is, why you need one, and some different examples of the sinking funds that we have used for this past year. Now, we are going to change up our sinking funds for 2017, and I'll share with you what those are in another video. But today I just want to share my top 3 sinking funds that I strongly feel that everyone should have, regardless of your situation or where you're at in the baby steps, because that is a big thing and a lot of, what should determine how much you're putting into sinking funds. But these 3 items are things that happen to everyone, that are expenses for pretty much everyone, I believe, and that should be taken into consideration, and that will help to ease the stress and worry on your life. So I'm going to share with you what they are. The first one is Christmas or holiday. Now, I know not everyone is religious, but at some point in the year, you will be sharing gifts or, giving gifts to other people and receiving gifts and expected to exchange gifts with people that you love, right? So this is not an emergency. This is something that comes up at the same time, typically once a year, right around the holiday season, and you want to make sure that you are prepared for it, that you've budgeted for it, and that it's not a stress and a headache for you. I will tell you guys, this year, this holiday season, is probably the first time I've ever not felt stressed and worried about how we would give our friends and family gifts, and also how we would pay for groceries. Like, that's a terrifying place to be in, and I so know what that feels like. I remember going to the store and trying to pick out gifts that would be, gifts that were like acceptable for our family, but that wouldn't break our budget, and so we would still have money to go like literally buy groceries. So I know how it feels, and it's not a fun place to be in, and that's not what the season is all about anyway, right? So the season is all about spending time with people that you love and just being together, right? So let's not make giving gifts a headache and a stress, right? Let's create a sinking fund for them and budget for them, and whatever your budget is for them, let that be what it is. Decide that if your budget is small, that, once you're done with the baby steps, that it will be larger. Decide that what you're doing right now is more important than giving huge gifts to everyone. And, that was a difficult thing that my husband and I had to decide, I think last year, was that we weren't going to do the traditional gift-giving things that our families did because of our financial situation. We were just starting the baby step process, and we knew that we just couldn't afford as much as we had given to people in the past because we weren't putting our Christmas gifts on credit cards. We were going to pay cash for them. And that's something that we're doing again this year. And so our budgeting and our gift giving is a little bit different than it has been in years past because of that. But we've budgeted for this throughout the whole year, and so we are comfortable and we're not stressed about the amount that we're spending on gifts. So it's a joy, really, to be able to give gifts in this, having planned it out rather than it being a stress, which is, it's meant to be a joyous season. So that's number 1, is Christmas or holiday giving. So the second one is car registration and maintenance. Now, if you have a car, you're going to have to pay to register it every year, right? It's an unfortunate thing, but it's just is what it is. And it's going to have maintenance. You're going to want to do regular oil changes. You're going to want to change the tires on it, get it checked up. Checked up, it sounds like a baby. But, do like tune-ups and things like that. And make sure that it's running in good condition so that it can keep running for you. So that is a really, really important one that is totally not fun. And if you have ever gotten that notice in the mail and you forgot that it was the month that your registration is due, that's kind of scary. I know that's how it's been for my husband and I in the past. Prior to starting this journey, was that we would get that notice and think, oh my goodness, where are we going to get like $200 for this month to pay for this registration? It would typically go on a credit card, and then we would forget about it and start to make those teeny tiny little baby payments that got us into the trouble that we're in, which is what we're digging ourselves out of to begin with. So create your car registration and car maintenance sinking fund. And the last one, which is number 3, is something that I don't hear people talk about often, but it's a really important one for us. It's a rent increase or home tax sinking fund. Now, for us, we are in an apartment, and so our rent does go up every year, or at the end of every lease, unfortunately. And I don't know if that's just a California thing. I know it's worse in California for sure. So if that's not a situation that you're in, then consider yourself very lucky. But either a rent increase or, moving to a different apartment or paying taxes on your home, those are going to be fees that you do incur once a year typically. So for us, when our lease is up, we'll get a notice about a month prior stating what our rent increase will be. And we'll basically have the choice to either sign a new lease at a certain rate or go on a month to month at a certain rate, or we'll decide to, move if the increase is out of our price range. Now, either of those options cost money. So if we choose to stay and just do the rent increase for like another lease, that is extra money that's going to need to come out of our budget. If we choose to do a month to month, that's actually a higher increase. And then if we choose to move, that's a big lump of expense, and it could end up being that we're spending less on rent each month at a new place, but the expense at the beginning is quite large because you'd have to pay first month and then a security deposit, which is typically ends up being about 2 months of rent at one time. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's something to budget for, because it's more than likely going to happen. If you end up at a point where it's, the increase isn't very high and you're able to just kind of roll with it into your budget, then you can kind of just put that money back into whatever baby step you're in. So for us, when that time comes, if our increase isn't too high and it's something that we're able to just, roll into our budget easily, then we'd put that money into baby step 2, as we are still on that step. But it's comforting, and it's a nice security blanket to have, to know that we are putting money towards that, because we know that a rent increase will come at some point, and that will help us to cushion things a little bit when that does happen. So those are my top 3 sinking funds that I believe everyone should have, just to secure yourself and to make sure that you are covering your bases and making sure that the things that are actual needs in your life are being taken care of in a good way. So that's it for you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this. I will see you tomorrow for another day in our 25 days of budgets. Have a great day.